Practical tutorial number 9. Identify radio bands for the practical assessment. Competency number 9. Let's have a read of the competency first. Number 9. Identify amateur radio bands for the foundation license or for the standard or advanced license if the candidate is attempting that assessment. So if you're doing a foundation, you'll be asked questions about frequency bands for the foundation license. If you're doing a standard, you'll be asked about frequency bands for the standard license. And advanced, you'll be asked frequency bands for the advanced license. Now, this competency is not hard because you're allowed to look it up in the LCD, the regulations, which you should have printed and take to your assessment. And if you don't have it, ask the assessor if he's got a copy. Because to pass this competency, all you need to do is look up the LCD in front of the assessor and point to the bands and read them out that he asked you. It's as simple as that. The candidate is supplied a copy of the appropriate license condition determination. Well, I'd have it myself and I'd take it with me and I'd have the pages bookmarked, excuse me, that have the permitted bands for foundation, standard and advanced. And we'll look at that in a moment. And your job is to identify 4 bands and their frequency limits correctly identified, not from memory, by looking at the LCD. So let's go and have a look at the LCD now. This slide is of the Radio Communications License Conditions Amateur License Determination number 1 of 1997. Now, radio amateurs simply refer to this as the LCD, and it's the regulations governing the operation of amateur stations in Australia. You should have the latest copy of this. It's always available from the ACMA website. You'll also find a recent copy on the WIA website, www.wia.org.au, and you'll also find a copy in supplementary downloads on the Radio and Electronics School website, www.res.net.au. That's res.net.au. You can download and print your own copy of the LCD. Really good idea to do that because you're allowed to use it during the practical assessment to point out to the assessor where the frequency bands are that foundation, standard and advanced are allowed to operate. So suppose you're doing an advanced exam and you're doing the practical for it. The assessor will ask you for 4 bands, to name 4 bands that the advanced amateur radio operator can use. This is a very large document, and I know that that's Schedule 2, so I'm going to do a search in this document for Schedule 2. And I'm going to have to search a couple of times till I get, because Schedule 2 is mentioned. There we are, Schedule 2. Schedule 2 is the permitted bands for the advanced stations. So I would have this printed if I was you. That's on page 29, and they're all the frequency bands that an advanced station could use. So the assessor would say, just point out 4 bands, and you simply have to open this document and say, well, okay, these are the bands, these are the HF bands, for example, that an advanced amateur can operate on. They're all the HF bands. And he'll simply get you to read out 4 of those from the paper. Now, if you're doing standard, the next schedule down is Schedule 3, and they are the permitted bands for the standard station. And all you have to do is read out 4 of these bands, and the assessor will be very happy. And Schedule 3A, just down a bit further, is the foundation. So if you're doing a foundation practical, the assessor will get you to read out 4 of those bands. As easy as that. Just make sure you have your LCD with you and make sure you have a bookmark in it on page 29, I think it is. Yes, 29 for the advanced license. And then the next couple of pages over standard and foundation. Can't fail this one if you have a copy of the LCD with you. That's it for Competency 9.